Can you imagine being in the public eye and living with a debilitating illness that no one can see? Tia Mowry, who I chose as my person of interest, she is being diagnosed with endometriosis. This topic is related to me closely because I also was diagnosed at the age of 22 with endometriosis and adenomyosis, which is the same thing, it's just growing inside of the lining of a uterus. Someone you may know or someone you have come across has probably been diagnosed or is dealing with this illness and not properly diagnosed because of the lack of understanding from doctors and pretty much medical professionals when dealing with endometriosis. Like many women, Tia Mowry was diagnosed at the late age of 30, and I say late because it usually starts when you're maybe 11 or 12 years old. Tia Mowry said it in an interview. For some reason, as a celebrity, people always think that she lives a perfect life and nothing is ever wrong, but that's really wrong. It would sound silly, but it's difficult to be vulnerable in the public. She often said in many interviews that doctors were not willing to listen to her pain or situation that she was going through. Endometriosis endometriosis is the lining of the uterus that is supposed to shed every month during your cycle. And for some women, this lining breaks off and moves to different places of your body and attaches itself to anything that it can attach to. And when you have a cycle, after the endometriosis has broke off, it doesn't go to it bleeds just like your monthly would, but it bleeds in that place, causing scar tissue and more pain and things to be fused together, and it's just a really painful thing to deal with. And it it can be helped with diet and exercise and really knowing what you should and shouldn't eat or things to avoid. And Tia has come up with a line of vitamins that and supplements that will help ease the symptoms and slow down the endometriosis from growing from place to place. My second point in this is because endometriosis is diagnosed, it's only diagnosable with laparoscopic surgery. Doctors aren't really willing to take that risk and go in and maybe it's not endometriosis. They can do ultrasounds, they can do, I wouldn't say biopsies, but they can do things to help find out what it is without having to go to the surgery route. And it's a really long and grueling process because when you have pap smears every year, they get more and more painful. They just chalk it up to just being you just sensitive, or they aren't they aren't attempting to find out what the issue is. They just push you off, put more medicine on you, and put more emphasis on your weight, your diet, and make sure you are staying overall healthy. But if the endometriosis is already in place, it's going to continue to bleed every month, and it's going to cause pain after pain after pain. And usually women are usually diagnosed like I said earlier at the age of 20, between 25 and 30, because it gets to the point where we are going through so many doctors that we finally find one that's willing to listen to us and actually go through further or go the next route of surgery because everything else hasn't been working. And I want to say that Tia is Tia is one of the many actresses living with disease, and it's time to raise awareness on this issue. It's time to raise awareness and have it be on a have it be up with other things that cause you pain daily. I feel like it's because women are women have periods monthly. Is one of those things where okay, well you can just get over it because it only lasts a certain amount of days. Not in this case. If you have endometriosis and your cycle's over with, there's other things that you have to deal with. There's the pain with intercourse. There's just a daily pain of bowel movements. There's the pain of infertility. It's just pain after pain after pain, and no one's really aware. It's a silent and invisible illness, and because you can't see it, it's more on things like, well, you just have a really heavy period. And I want to raise awareness. March is Endometriosis Awareness Month, and of course it's past, but it's like every day of that month, women are able to voice their struggles, voice their successes and voice just the overall knowledge and experience about endometriosis. I haven't been to a seminar, but I've watched them online, and they're really empowering. Women like Tia have come and want to sit and talk to other women who are going through the same thing and share their struggles and their triumphs. Like, some women have been able to get pregnant through in vitro. Some women have been able to get pregnant after having a lap surgery, like I have. I've been able to get pregnant after a lap surgery. I think it was a year and a half after my surgery. I was able to start having kids, and it's one of those things where it doesn't have a cure and it doesn't have a cause either. So scientists are actually starting to try to understand why endometriosis is. They're doing biopsies on the lining of the uterus. The women that have the disease, they're helping them, and it's getting some awareness. It's not enough, but it's a small start. And I wanted to end this with Tia Mowry, like many other women, again, thousands of women are living with endometriosis. She's dealt with the same pain that a regular woman has dealt with, the same frustrations that a regular woman has dealt with, because they are frustrated with living with this disease, and there's no end to it. There's a slowdown, but there's no end to it. And I wanted to say that we need to keep talking about it, keep bringing it up, make conversations about it, have people research it, so that way so that they understand what it is to go through and deal with endometriosis.